All righty. Hello, everyone. Yay! So awesome to see you all here that are not very many here. I was so excited about this topic, and then there's like 9 other people who are excited about it. But, maybe it isn't for everyone. Maybe finding your own way isn't the most popular thing, or maybe it hasn't been the most popular thing in the world so far. But my sense is that something very different is opening up in the world, and for all of those who will choose. Like there will be plenty of people who won't, who will still do the same thing and follow the same thing as others. But for those who do wish to choose, I just realized that I had this kind of chair that moves. I will be doing this the whole time. Yeah, I will follow my own way with that. Yeah, so for those who are willing to choose and interested in choosing to really find your own way that maybe you've never walked before, that's way more ease now. It's way more available now. So, and I will be using the Zoom is access consciousness Zoom. So I will be using the access consciousness clearing statement. And I know that most of you who are here now, you know what that is. But if you're watching afterwards or you forget, you can always check theclearingstatement.com and it will remind you. So it's just these weird words or abbreviations put together to take away all that stuff that you have in the way of accessing what's actually true for you. So let's just start with how many presumptive realities do you have about what is your own way? And everything that is, will you destroy and ungrid it all? I don't want to get on back all night shirts, boys, poets, and beyond. So that was the clearing statement, those weird words. Wow. And then another thing that happens is that when energy starts to move, I start to yawn. So yeah, I will probably yawn quite a bit. And I'm sorry for those of you who will catch it. Or somebody else can do it, then I don't have to yawn so much if someone else does it. Yeah, so let's do that again. How many presumptive realities do you have about what is your own way? Everything that is really discern and critical. And beyond. Whoa. Whew. Just a little bit of energy on that one. And the funny thing is that before this Zoom, I'm in Budapest right now in Hungary. I don't live here. I've been here a bit over a week. And just before this Zoom, I went to have some lunch, dinner, food. And then I ended up going further than I thought. And then the way back to the apartment was longer than I thought. And then I couldn't find the way. And then I was late for this Zoom. So I was like, I've been really preparing for this Zoom, being lost and like not finding my way, but still finding my way and making it work. So everywhere where you avoid being lost, even though that's actually required for you to find, will you destroy and grid it all? I don't run good and bad, but I'm buckle, night shirts, boys, poets, and beyond. And I actually been playing with the idea of this Zoom, and there will also be a 3-week series after this for a while, because it started sometime end of last year when I started really looking at how like something just clicked. And I was like, wait a second, there are so many things that I'm not choosing that I could be choosing, but I don't because nobody else is. And then I started choosing those things, and it's been really interesting. Like many of you maybe know that I gave away my apartment, for example, and just put everything in the storage. And I've been going from one place to another in a very random and chaotic way, finding my own way and finding my own way of doing things. But it really required that step to let go of what I thought I had to do, what I thought I had to be. So what have you decided that you have to do, that you have to be, that stops you from finding you? Everything that is will you destroy and create it all. I don't run good and bad, but I'm back all night shirts, boys, poets, and beyond. Whoa. All those things that you think that are necessary for you to what? To fit in, to be like others, to be real, to be understandable. And when I started choosing living in this way, the first few choices that, I went to Mexico, I went to Thailand, these made sense for people. But then there was this choice when I was like, I'm going to Budapest. And people are like, oh, what are you going to do there? I'm like, I don't know yet. I will find out, but it's pinging me. Then it hit this point where it didn't make sense for people. Before then they were like, yay, go for you going to Mexico or Thailand, But then that was a point when it was like just too weird for people. And then they went into like, but I didn't care. I still went. I still am here and I'm finding different things here. So one question that led me this way was that I started asking, I think it was in January, what would it take for me to stop avoiding me? How much are you avoiding you? Knowing you, being you, choosing as you. And how many conflicts is that creating in your world? And you keep looking at other people. And the question in Access, who does this belong to? Or all those things that show up, all the thoughts, feelings, things that you think you have to do. And then you can ask, is this actually mine? Because most of the things are not yours. But it will be really hard to have clarity with that if you have no idea who you are. If you keep thinking that you're someone else, then you keep buying those things, other people's things all the time, because you don't want to know who you are. So it's easier to pick things up from everybody else, to pick up their pains, their dreams, their desires, their wrongnesses, whatever it is. So how often do you not let go of things that are not yours? Because then you would have to stop avoiding you. You would get too close to you. You would get to know too much about you. I see some smiles. So everywhere where you're using other people as a distraction to avoid you, will you discern and cut it off? At least some of it. Right around getting that protocol, night shirts, boys, poets, and beyond. A lot of relationships are really based on this, based on like, oh, this person is perfect distraction for me to pick up things, to just put my energy on them and never really look at myself. Who are those people in your life? And then like for many people, it can be your parents where you keep thinking that, oh my God, what if I am like my parents, but I'm not like my parents. And then you are in this constant like proving that you're not like them while secretly fearing that you are like them, while proving that you're not like them. It just goes on forever and ever, and you'll never find you. So everywhere where you are using your parents and their reality to avoid finding you, or everywhere where you are, what's that word? Everywhere where you are defending, and resisting your parents' reality to avoid finding you, will you destroy and regret that? Everyone get on back, but I'm on night shirts, boys, poets, and beyond. Boy. There's only like a tiny bit of avoidance energy going on with this one, like very little. I am insane in that way that I can always find those topics that nobody wants to talk about that will bring so much freedom. But then I just go and talk about it. I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. I know you don't want to, but let's do it. And then those 2.5 people who choose it will be very happy afterwards. Does anybody have any questions? Anything that you want to know? What brought you here? I wonder how much that is what happens when you start really finally looking at you and looking into your reality. There's like nothing. And it's just like, there was supposed to be stuff here, right? But the thing about you is that you have to create here. It's not like you are an infinite being. An infinite being can be anything, but you have to choose to be those things. You have to choose and you have to create it. And you have to create yourself every day with every choice that you make. So when you start looking at like, okay, who am I actually? If you have never looked at that, and if you have created whole reality for you to live based on everybody else, and you let that go, for a moment you might feel like it's empty or like there's nothing. But that is literally just that blank canvas that you can paint with anything. But somebody else is supposed to tell you what you should be, right? So I think that is, you just try and uncreate it all. All measures, voice forwards and beyond. I was like, nailed it.
Yeah, it's the avoiding thing.
Yes.
Always avoiding the thing.
What are you always avoiding?
Being me.
Oops.
Oops.
Everything that is, can we just try and uncreate it all? Right, everyone get in bed, but in book all nighters, boys, poets, and beyonds. And you know, Dane has a book. Dane, one of the co-creators of Access's book, Being You, Changing the World. So I wonder how much is it not only avoiding being you, but also avoiding changing the world? Because you know that if you would be you, you would freaking change the world by just being. So everything that you're lying to yourself about, will you just turn and quit it all? I don't forget about put a book on nature's voice poets and beyond. You might need a drink after this, but let's see. Yeah, I remember when I took my first foundation classes, the 4-day class that you can take after Access Bars. And it really showed in every single area of life how I had created it based on someone else, based on lies, based on what someone else would like. And I was really pissed. Like I was so angry after that and during those days, because I was like, oh, none of my life is mine. It's all someone else's. So how big percentage of your life is not yours? Are you happy with that? And if not, how would it take to start increasing that? Increasing how much of it is yours. And then we get to this other thing of what you are and your own way of doing things is bad. A lot of us avoid it because we think that it's just bad. You'd do it wrong. You'd be horrible, evil, or just completely wrong. So how many presumed realities do you have about what being you and doing things your way would be like? Bad, evil, horrible, bad, evil, horrible, everything that is what we destroy and create it all. Had a wrong, get back, but all my shirts, voice, poets, and beyonds. And then with the changing the world part, it's like, yeah, I would change it for the worse. Would you? If you were being you, doing things your own way, what would change in the world? What have you not been willing to acknowledge about you? I had actually wrote in the Telegram chat about this interesting experience here in Budapest when I went to a grocery store at a time when it was filled with people who were very not happy, and there was such a like energy there. And for a moment, I was like, oh no, this is not the thing that I like. I like the peace and I like the calm energy and the relaxed energy. Oh, Esther, do you live in Hungary, in Budapest? Oh, yay, I'm in your town. Well, near you at least. But yeah, so I was like, I don't like this energy. Like I want it to be like peaceful and calm and like relaxed. And then I was like, it just popped in my head to ask, what can I contribute? And immediately when I asked that, everything got more calm and more peaceful and more relaxed. And I was like, oh, this thing. And I've noticed that I have created that in other situations too. And people have told me that it's very relaxing to be in my company and very peaceful. And I've been looking for that outside of me always. Like, could somebody please create a place that would be peaceful and calm so I can go there and enjoy that? Instead of acknowledging that I am here to bring that here. That's why I keep like yearning for it all the time, because it is what I can create here. It's not that I'm lacking it. It is what I be, and I don't even realize it. So that's the thing about you also. What you are being, you usually have no idea. What you are gifting to the world, you have pretty much no idea, because you're avoiding you. You don't want to know. And also, it doesn't feel like anything. So what is it that you most wish that there would be more of that in the world, or what would change in the world? And ask, what if you are that? No, 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 no. You know, you can be that, but not me. Everything that is will you destroy and ungrid it all. Right or wrong, good or bad, but I'm a call nature and spice poet. This is so good. This is so amazing. I love this. Thank you really for bringing this all up as well, and like being willing to be that avoidance energy there. It's just so perfect. And realizing that it is there. Because it is not wrong. Like we have not been taught how to be us, how to be, how to not avoid. We've basically been taught just how to avoid everything. So everywhere where avoidance has been your primary way of functioning in the world as a way to create your life. Can we just try and get that? I don't want to get about but about all nightshirts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Whoa. What is the choice that you are avoiding that would give you more of you? No, there's no such thing. And I've known for quite a long time that this choice of like giving away my apartment and just traveling for a while was something that would change a lot of things for me that I've been asking to change. And I avoided it for a really long time, even though I knew, but I still avoided it because I'm like, oh, it would give me more of me. It would make everything more amazing. It would give me more possibilities. No. So you also realize that that's not wrong. Like, don't make it wrong. We all do that, and it's okay. But then when comes that moment when you're done with that? Maybe now is that moment. Maybe that's why you're here. Yay! So let's do 3. This is like gather all that. Oh, no. Let's do 13. So gather all that energy where you have just that like each of like, I want something different. Please, can I please have something different? Let's gather all that and then we'll explode it on 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 13. More about those numbers is on the Access Foundation class, but that's basically jumping on a different track. What if you would now jump into a different track? What if it's not about working hard at it? What if it really is just a jump? So everywhere where you have decided that it is such a hard work to do things your own way, to find you, to stop avoiding you, will you destroy and ungrid it all? I don't get about put and buckle on nightshirts, boys, poets, and beyond. Whoa. it's not necessarily super comfortable always, but that comfort zone is kind of where the trap is. Because I didn't choose this for a long time because I was like, it would be uncomfortable. Like, just to have one suitcase with you and have everything there and not have all the clothes and everything exactly the way I want it to be, not have the amazing Finnish tap water, which I still miss sometimes, but I had to get over with that point of view too. And so many other things too, where I just had to let go of the point of view. The point of view that something is better than the other thing, and realize that it's not better. It is a preference that I have, but as long as I hold on to that preference as a fixed point of view, I will limit myself so much. I will not choose so many things because of that. Because of tap water, I was like, I cannot let go of my apartment and travel. That's kind of crazy, but that was one of the big things for me. So what are those insane little things that you use to avoid those choices that would give you more of you? Oh, everything that is väldigt distracting all. I don't get about but en vocal nature, it's boys, poets, and beyond. Any questions?
It is so funny. I'm working, or don't know the proper word for it, for this theme that how can I receive more of myself? and here it is. Yeah, so if anything pop up in you or bring some things, please don't hold it.
How can you receive more of you? How many of you are just trying to give to everyone else? Like, that's kind of beautiful thing, but then at the same time, are you doing it really from desiring to give, or are you doing it from avoiding you, avoiding receiving you? That's kind of the thing of always putting the energy outside of you, putting it somewhere else for someone else's needs. What this person needs from me, what does this thing need from me? Not what can I contribute? Like, those are completely different things. When you are responding to someone's needs, you're not necessarily contributing to anything. So everywhere where you're making other people's needs your guiding light, we're just trying to grid that. Not around good and bad, but in buckle, nature, it's boys, poets, and beyond, because needs are not really real. And when people are putting these needs out there and making like, you have to respond to this, you have to do this way, how much awareness is there? You will just do what you're being told to, but you're not allowed to put any awareness there. You're not allowed to ask a question, what would actually contribute here? Maybe me not responding to this need will actually be the thing that will create more awareness and a greater possibility. So everywhere where you are using other people's needs as a way to avoid you and avoid the contribution that you could be, let me just try and grid that. Right around good and bad, but in buckle, nature, it's boys, poets, and beyond. And what if it wasn't about sacrificing yourself to make something happen, create a business for someone else? But what was it about? What if it was about, what does this contribute to me also? Because you getting to be you in something and contributing what you can be to something will also contribute to you. Anything else about that?
Yeah, I'm finding the words. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. What if it's way more ease than any of us thinks? Like basically, let's stop thinking and just ask. Yeah. And we are often taught that if somebody needs something from you, then you have to give that to them, and that's the greatest thing you can do. But is it really? If they need you to align with a limited point of view, if they need you to go into the trauma of the situation, and you think that you have to fulfill that need, and that's great, then you're just creating more of that shit. So then you can always ask, what would be a contribution here? What can I contribute here? What can we contribute now to each other, to everybody who will be watching this, and to the world? No one needs to need it, but you can still gift it. And a lot of the stuff that you actually can gift to people in the world, they will never even realize to need it because they don't realize it's possible. So the magic and the miracles that you can create, nobody needs it, but they definitely require it. They just don't know it. But they won't even know to ask for it. But if you offered it anyways, how much are you waiting that somebody would see what is the unique gift of you and ask for you to be that? Instead of going like, hey, I can actually be this. Maybe nobody has seen it before, but I know what it creates. And I will be this in the world no matter what. So everywhere where you're waiting for someone else to see you so that you could be you, we destroy and create that. Är det ranket om papparen på kolna shirts, boys, poets and beyonds? Wow. As an infinite being, the only being who can see you is you. So as long as you're waiting for someone else and avoiding you, that's quite a trap. Clever one. So you're pretty smart. Oh. And there are a lot of resources in Access Consciousness for really being you, finding you. There are like a ton of classes, like big classes about that, books, all kinds of stuff. A lot of really cool questions you can ask, like, if I was being me in this situation, what would I choose? If I was doing this in my own way, what would I choose? So the resources are there. You're not really alone as much as you think. Oh, the alone thing was the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, so how much have you decided that if you go your own way, you'll be totally alone? Everything that is. You destroy. Oh, what a like sad energy. Can you destroy and uncreate it all? Right or wrong, good and bad, but and all night shirts, boys, poets, and beyond. And in Access, we talk a lot about choose for you. A lot of people interpret that as choose against everyone. That's not at all what it is, because you choosing for you pretty much has to include everyone. You have to be willing to, or like Jane said recently, not exclude. Like you have to stop excluding everyone, because does that make you happy? Does this thing of like, I'm going to choose against everyone else and exclude everyone, does that make you happy? Does it make you light? It doesn't. So that means that's not true for you. So actually including or not excluding everyone is the thing that is maybe you. So how can you choose from that? That's choosing for you. So all the presumed realities that you have about what choosing for you is, well, you just try and get that. Not around getting back, but in all nights, boys, poets, and beyonds. And everywhere where you interpret you as by yourself alone, without anyone else, will you just try and get that? Not around getting back, but in all nights, boys, poets, and beyonds. So that's kind of where also the thing of not avoiding you comes into this conversation, because when you realize that for most of you as a being, excluding everyone else is not true. That's not who you are. So then can you really be alone if you choose for you? If that doesn't work for you, would you choose it? There's this funny thing where we think that if we choose for ourselves and if we choose what works for us, that will exclude everyone and be against everyone. But it isn't. And if you start excluding everyone, that actually makes everything really hard. Your life will become really difficult. So would you really choose that? Probably not. So it is a like complete and total lie that you would be alone if you choose for you and if you choose your own way. So how many lies are you telling you about you? Everything that is really destroying and critical. At a wrong and bad, but in book all nature, it's boys, poets, and beyonds. Boy. Any other questions? I think we might do a little bit of some kind of an energetic thingy. I heard something. But before that, I'm just going to mention that on Sunday, I have a class about basically being you. Some of you maybe know that there's this book in Access called Would You Teach a Fish to Climb a Tree? Which I think is kind of very fitting into this conversation as well, because a lot of us, what we're trying to do is to climb a tree, even though you are a fish and you would have like all oceans of the world for you to swim, than just one tree to climb to. But because you're trying to be like everyone else, you're trying to climb the same tree as everybody else is trying to climb to. It's really crowded. And you can't really even do it. So that just so well for me describes what we're trying to do. And the book is like more about ADHD, autism, and all of these, what we call X-Men capacities. And the class on Sunday will also be more about that. But I think it's just hilarious how that happened to be at the same time as this Finding Your Way Zoom. Because sometimes it kind of seems to me that when you start looking at your way, you kind of think that it would be something very little, very pathetic, very tiny, because it is just that one little tree that you're looking at. And now you think that, oh, if I go my way, maybe it's even a smaller tree than anybody else has to climb, when you literally have all the oceans available to you. So how much have you decided that your own way is so tiny, so insignificant, so minuscule, that it's sad to even consider that? Really just trying to get that. I love your smile. It's like nailed it. I don't get about all night boys, poets, and beyonds. Yeah, so really, like, what if there is something so big there that you have no idea. That you can't see because you're staring at that one tree. So here in between, inviting you to that class as well to consider bigger waters for you to swim. And then I would say that let's see where this goes, but let's just close our eyes. And then let your mind lead you. You don't need your mind for this. Let your head relax. Let your brains relax. Let your face relax. Your throat, your neck, shoulders, arms. And allow this melting, relaxing wave to wash over your whole body. To drop all the walls and barriers. Keep you separate. You're not a creature of separation. Even if you love spending time alone, that is still not about separation. All the lies that you bought about needing to be alone or that you will be alone, will you discern and grit that? Är det rangen bara den bakom night shirts, boys, poets and beyonds? Allow yourself to be an infinite being. Expand yourself. Be present with your body too. You can put your hands on your body if you want to. But still expand way bigger. Outside the room and further. Into the earth, into the sky, all around, in all directions, expand. How big can you be? How fast can you expand? To expand into you. Stop excluding you from you. You from different parts of you. Relax. 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 Let go of what you have decided must be wrong about you. That's not important. But what is great about you? What is great about you? What is amazing about you? What is the gift of you that you've been avoiding? Relax. Allow your headspace to open. And all those things that you think you should have accomplished, but you haven't, that you're still holding on to, we please discern and grit that. Adarang, good and bad, but on book all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyond. Bravely let go of your past. Have the courage to lose the baggage that is slowing you, that is holding you down, that is reminding you that you're wrong because you're not. What are those things that you hold on to make sure that you remember that you're wrong? Everything that is, will you discern and grit it all? Adarang, good and bad, but on book all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyond. What is different about you? Maybe at this point you have no idea, but what if you ask, what is different about me? What is unique about me? And one way to find is it's those things that are so easy for you that you don't even think about it. It doesn't feel like anything when you're being. What is different about you that you've never acknowledged? In how many ways are you strong that you have never acknowledged? And when you look around in your world, are there maybe closed doors, dusty corners, dusty rooms, places and spaces of being that you have not accessed maybe at all in this lifetime? Things that you have just decided to put away, pieces of you that you've cut off, that you've hidden. But if you shone some light there now, white opalescent light, towards all that you are hiding, that you are cutting away, that you are ignoring, that you are avoiding, no matter what is there, even if you think there's monsters hiding. Maybe the monster is you. Is now the space to access more of you in a different way, in a way that no one else can but you. What if you just said yes to you? What if you opened those doors? You can always close them again if you don't like it. Just take a peek. I wonder what's here. What did I once know? What did I once be? What did I desire to change in the world when I was a kid? A tiny kid. What did I come here to do? What did I come here to contribute? So many things have happened in between that maybe proved to you that that was wrong. But what if you don't care anymore? What if you cared more about the possibility that you can be in the world than what other people say? Than the need to constantly feel heavy? Than the need to be lost like everyone else? The need to not be happy? What if you didn't need to be unhappy? Everything that doesn't allow that kan vi destroy and get out. Hadarangira vaparam på all nine shirts, boys, poets, and beyond. Every choice that has lightness to it is taking you more towards you. Do you dare to choose that much lightness? That every single choice that you chose was light, not heavy. That every single choice was your choice for you. No one will ever give you permission for that. But does that matter? But if you valued possibilities that you're bringing here more, What are you waiting for? And what if you didn't? What if it's messy? What if it's chaotic? What if it's weird? What if that's okay? What if that is part of the play? What can you choose now that would give you more of you? Today and every day. And I will tell you that the secret is that when you do, you actually give permission for everyone around you to also choose for them. Do you dare to do that? Or do you want to control people? By telling them by your own choices that they also cannot choose for themselves. Are you scared that you would lose? But what if you didn't? What if you actually gained more? But it's so much more that you cannot even figure it out right now because you've never seen it before. What are you scared of gaining? So you rather avoid you. So that you can always be just seeker instead of finder. What if living was no longer about overcoming the misery and suffering, but the joy of finding more happiness every single day? Which of those would be a greater contribution to this planet? And you? What if you are way greater than no one can imagine? Especially you. Thank you all so much for this exploration. And if you're interested in more, next week we'll begin a 3-week series where we will do something like this and more every week. I thank you so much for being here, for choosing to explore this, for choosing to avoid a little less. That is such a gift. Maybe you want to listen to this a few times and maybe share it with someone who might benefit from this too. Thank you. See you soon somewhere. Bye-bye.